Okay, so you've done it. You spent hours crocheting all the little pieces, the head, the legs, those super cute floppy ears. But now comes the part that can feel, well, a little intimidating. The assembly. This is the step that can really make or break your project. So today, we're going to transform that pile of parts into a perfectly polished, professional-looking puppy.
And this is Honey Biscuit. This is our goal. Just look at that perfect shape, that sweet little face, and how all the seams just disappear. This isn't just a toy, right? It's a character. And over the next few minutes, I'm going to show you all the key steps and secret techniques you need to get your finished friend looking just this good.
First things first, let's get in the right headspace. This isn't just about sewing bits of yarn together. Nope. This is about bringing a personality to life. The assembly is really where all the magic happens.
So yeah, you've put in the hard work of counting all the stitches and following every round. Now, we get to be sculptors. Let's take that whole collection of crocheted shapes and turn them into one cohesive, absolutely adorable friend.
Before we even think about picking up a sewing needle, a perfect finish actually starts with the crochet stitches themselves. There are a couple of key techniques that really set the stage for everything we're about to do.
First up is the magic ring, or MR. Now, unlike a standard chain loop you might start with, this technique is amazing because it lets you pull the starting tail and cinch that opening completely shut. What's the result? No gaps, no little holes, just a perfectly solid start for the head, the body, and the paws. It's a total game changer.
And next up is the invisible decrease. The pattern specifically calls for this, and trust me, there's a good reason. By working only through the front loops of the two stitches you're combining, you totally avoid that bumpy, obvious little knot you get with a standard decrease. It just melts right into the fabric.
So why are these two stitches so important for our assembly? Because together, they create a super tight, dense fabric. And that is your best defense against having those little bits of white stuffing poke through your final creation. It just ensures your puppy looks clean and professional from every single angle.
The pattern also suggests using a specific material, chenille yarn. And let me tell you, this stuff is both a blessing and a bit of a challenge. On the one hand, its incredible softness and fluffy texture are perfect for a cuddly toy, and it does a fantastic job of hiding your sewing seams. The downside? That exact same fluffiness can make your stitches really hard to see, so careful counting while you crochet is absolutely essential.
Okay, so our crocheted pieces are flawless. Our foundation is set. Now for the planning stage. This is where you get to be an architect, designing your puppy's final look before you make a single permanent stitch. Whatever you do, don't just eyeball it. Follow this simple checklist. Lay everything out. Place a limmer ear right where you think it should go, and then pin it securely in place. I like to use stitch markers for this. And then, the most important part, step back. Take a look at it from the front, from the side, from the top. Is it balanced? Is it symmetrical? This is the time to adjust, not later. And this picture shows you exactly why that planning matters. Just look at the perfect alignment of the ears and the legs from the back. That did not happen by accident, it's the result of pinning and checking. Seriously, taking 5 minutes to do this will save you the absolute heartache of a lopsided friend.
With our plan in place and all our little pieces pinned exactly where we want them, it's finally time to bring Honey Biscuit to life. Let's get stitching. So, the main tool in our assembly toolbox is going to be the whip stitch. It's super simple, but really effective. You'll just use the long yarn tail you left on each piece, and you simply pass your needle through a stitch on the body, then through a stitch on the piece you're attaching, and you just work your way all the way around the edge. Pull it snug, and that fluffy chenille yarn will help the seam just disappear.
Now, listen up, because the order of operations here is critical for a nice, stable build. The pattern gives us a very specific sequence. We start with the core. Attach the head to the body. Then we build that cute face by adding the muzzle. After that, we attach the front legs, then the back legs, to get the posture just right. And we finish with the personality pieces, the ears and the tail. You really want to follow this order.
And precision is so important, especially on the face. The pattern gives you exact coordinates, like this instruction right here for the muzzle. It tells you to place it centered 2 rows below the eyes. This level of detail is your roadmap to getting that perfectly adorable face we saw at the very beginning.
Okay, the puppy is all assembled, but we are not quite done. These last few details are what take your project from looking handmade to handcrafted.
Great stuffing is truly an art form.
The key is to stuff firmly and consistently as you go, and always use small little clumps of fiberfill to avoid any lumps. And check out this pro tip from the pattern. Leave the upper part of the legs unstuffed. This allows them to bend and drape more naturally, giving your puppy a much more realistic posture. And a final little poof of stuffing in the muzzle right before you sew it shut gives it that nice, defined shape.
And here are a few final rapid-fire tips right from the source material. Remember to embroider details like the nose and those cute little paw lines before you attach the pieces. It is so much easier that way. Oh, and if a piece looks a little squished after you've assembled everything, the pattern suggests a light mist of water and some gentle hand shaping can work absolute wonders.
And here we are. By following those foundational techniques, planning our placement, and assembling everything with care, we've come full circle, right back to our goal. A perfectly constructed, seamless, and utterly charming friend, built not just with yarn, but with real skill and attention to detail.
So just remember that assembly isn't an afterthought. It's really the final and most important act of creation. You now have the blueprint for turning any collection of crocheted parts into a polished masterpiece. The only question left is, what will you bring to life next?